They laughed when she fell, they cheered when the slap echoed across the schoolyard, but none of them knew that the girl they humiliated that day would rise so high that even her bullies would beg for her forgiveness. Don't miss this heart-pounding story of courage, revenge, and redemption. Make sure to subscribe for more life-changing stories that will leave you breathless till the last line. The bell had just rung at Westbridge High, and students poured into the courtyard like a flood of noise and energy. Among them walked Lena Park, a shy, bespectacled girl in a faded hoodie and worn sneakers, clutching her books tightly to her chest as if they were her only protection. She wasn't poor by birth, but after her father's sudden death, everything had fallen apart: her family, her home, even her confidence. Every day she faced whispers, laughter, and cruel jokes from the Golden Circle, a group of popular students led by Tiffany Moore, the head cheerleader with a perfect smile and a venomous heart. That morning, the school buzzed with anticipation. Tiffany had planned something unforgettable. As Lena walked across the yard, the whispers grew louder. Someone shouted, "Hey, nerd, where'd you buy that trash hoodie?" At the dumpster. Laughter erupted. Lena kept her head down. She had learned silence was safer. But this time, fate had other plans. Tiffany, in her sparkling jacket and glossy lips, walked up to her, holding her phone high, recording the moment. "Smile for the camera, loser," she sneered. Lena didn't. The silence stretched, and then, with one sharp motion, Tiffany's hand cracked across Lena's face. The sound of that slap echoed through the courtyard, silencing hundreds of students for a split second before laughter exploded. Phones came out, cameras flashed, and there, standing frozen, Lena felt something deep within her snap, not in weakness, but in awakening. She didn't cry, she didn't run, she looked up, her cheek red, eyes steady, and whispered words that sent a chill through the crowd: "You'll remember this moment forever." The laughter faltered. Tiffany smirked, unaware that she had just lit a fire that would burn her world down. That night, Lena stared at her reflection in the mirror. The mark on her face had faded, but the pain hadn't. She opened her old laptop, pulled up a file her father had once told her to save, a list of coding projects, AI blueprints, and business ideas he'd been developing before he died. She spent the night reading through every line, realizing her father's unfinished dream was something powerful. Over the next year, Lena disappeared from everyone's radar. Rumors spread that she'd transferred schools or had a breakdown. Nobody knew she was secretly building something revolutionary, a digital education platform designed to make quality learning accessible to anyone. She named it Phoenix. It was her rebirth. Fast forward 3 years, Westbridge High had forgotten Lena Park. Tiffany had gone on to college, posting luxury vacations and brand deals, while the Golden Circle lived their influencer dreams. But one day, their glittering illusion cracked. A massive global startup called Phoenix Ed exploded into the tech world, offering free, world-class education powered by AI. Within weeks, universities, corporations, and governments were talking about the mysterious young founder, only known by the initials LP. Tiffany's jaw dropped when she scrolled through an interview that finally revealed the face behind Phoenix Ed. It was her, the same girl she'd humiliated in front of 200 students. The same girl she slapped. But that was just the beginning. Lena was invited to speak at her old school as an honored alumna. The auditorium buzzed with reporters and students eager to see the young CEO. Tiffany, now, struggling with failed sponsorships, begged the principal to let her help organize the event. When Lena walked onto the stage, dressed in an elegant white suit, the crowd rose in applause. Tiffany's stomach twisted as Lena's calm gaze swept the room. 3 years ago, Lena began, I was humiliated on this very campus. I was told I'd never be enough. But I learned that sometimes, being broken is the best way to rebuild stronger. The audience went silent. Then she smiled softly and added, and to those who hurt me, thank you. You taught me who I never want to be. Cameras flashed. Students cheered. Tiffany's knees buckled. After the event, Tiffany approached her, trembling. Lena, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Lena looked at her, her voice steady. You didn't care to know. But I forgive you. Not for you, for me. Tiffany cried, but Lena walked away, free at last from the shadow of her past. But life had more twists in store. Months later, Phoenix Ed faced a corporate takeover attempt by a ruthless conglomerate led by a billionaire named Alexander Reed, known for crushing young competitors. During a tense boardroom meeting, Lena stood her ground, refusing to sell her company. Alexander smirked. You're smart, Miss Park, but idealism doesn't survive in business. Lena replied, "Neither does greed, Mr. Reed. It only consumes itself." The war began. Over the next few months, Phoenix Ed was hit with lawsuits, smear campaigns, and hacking attempts. But Lena, remembering every insult and slap that had tried to break her spirit, refused to back down. With her small, loyal team, she fought back with brilliance and heart, turning Phoenix Ed into not just a company, but a movement. In a shocking twist, Alexander discovered that Lena's father had once saved his company from bankruptcy years ago. Realizing who she was, guilt struck him. He called her privately, admitting, "Your father was the reason I'm standing today. I owe him everything." For the first time, the ruthless CEO softened. Instead of destroying her, he offered partnership. Lena accepted, but on her terms. "We build a world where no child gets slapped by poverty or arrogance ever again." Their collaboration transformed global education. The girl who had been slapped before 200 students became a symbol of resilience, intelligence, and grace. News channels hailed her as the Phoenix of Silicon Valley. Her story inspired millions of bullied kids worldwide. And one day, while walking past Westbridge High, she saw a new student being mocked by others. She walked over, placed her hand on the girl's shoulder, and said gently, "You don't have to fight them. Just rise higher." The bullies froze, because everyone knew who Lena Park was now. Years later, at a global summit, Lena gave her final speech before stepping down as CEO. "They laughed at me once," she said, her voice echoing through the hall, "but laughter fades. What lasts is courage, the courage to turn pain into power." The audience stood in thunderous applause. Somewhere in the crowd, Tiffany, now working for Phoenix's charity branch, wiped away tears. She'd found redemption too. Lena's story had changed not just her life, but the lives of everyone who'd ever felt small, unseen, or broken. And so, the girl who had once been slapped before 200 students became the woman who taught the world that no humiliation lasts forever, but strength, true strength, never fades.